Hello, I'm JustHitSquare, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Today, guys, this is going to be review number 2. Now, I didn't really say a whole lot in the first review about what I'm trying to accomplish during these reviews. The first review of Destiny 2 was about the quest lines and the adventures, and trying to tell you about what their purpose is and what you can get out of them and so on and so forth. Now, I didn't say everything you can get out of them, but I kind of like to try a little bit of mystery here and there. But this is the second this is be the second review of Destiny 2, and now I'm breaking them up into several different parts because I didn't feel like it would be good to just make one video that's an hour or 2 or 3 hours long, because there's several things about Destiny that I want to go over, and there's certain things that I have not done in Destiny that I'll still be able to give you my opinion on it, and so on and so forth. But anyways, this review will be about the set roles for the guns and the gear in the game, and the way I feel about those, and why, you know, is there anything good out of it or is there anything bad out of it. Now, to start off with, everybody knows in Destiny 1, if you did play Destiny 1, you didn't have to worry about these set roles and so on and so forth. You had a thing with exotics that you could use that's called glass needles, that if you wanted to change some stuff on them to make them a little bit different. Now, I do believe that the exotics should be set, and not be able to be rolled, but I believe that was this, they wanted to be able to have it to where you could have more leniency over the gun or armor that you had. Now, they took away these, where you could actually have different perks and so on and so forth on your gear and guns in Destiny 2. And now, this was Luke Smith's idea, I do believe, but anyways, if it's not, it don't really matter. It was somebody's idea, and to be honest, the idea was just, in my eyes, it was stupid. Now, before we get started, this is solely my opinion, so before you people up there get butthurt about it, it just, maybe this isn't the way it should be, but this is the way I feel about it. First and foremost, the reason why we shouldn't have set roles is because simply it takes away replayability for the game. Now, as you can see right here, you can look at, just give an example, Nameless Midnight. You can see that if you got this gun a million times, these would be the same rolls on them. None of them would be different. Well, in Destiny 1, you had a chance for them to be different. They would be different every time. I mean, that's what made you want to keep grinding to get the gun, because it may have the better perks on it, and that would make the gun unique, or the gear unique. You could actually go after those pieces over and over and over again, because you may get them 50 times, and you may finally get the gun in the right set that you want, or the gear would be the way you want. What this does now, by them having this set the same way, the same perks on everything, is it takes away rebuild or replayability, and it also forces us to play the way they want us to play. And it's not what should be happening. When you have a video game, you should be able to pick the way you want to play it, especially something big as Destiny. And they're not allowing you to do that. Now, before, I really go into much more detail, they have already came out and said that they're going to be making a way to make it to where, your 10th, 5th, or 10th, uh, any gun that you get the same name would be different. They're trying to figure out what they want to do without it, or do about it without having to go back to Destiny 1 formula, which Destiny 1 formula worked. I don't know why you wanted to break it, but it wasn't broke, and it was good, because people, well, I got that gun set in this, or my gun's set in Firefly. Well, you know what? Mine's Outlaw, and I ain't got Firefly. Well, I really want Firefly. Well, I really want Outlaw. Well, then you get lucky, and you'd have, just giving you examples of roles, and then you get lucky and have it to where it'd be, in other words, a god roll. Now, when people talk about god rolls, that's pretty much the best rolls that you can get on a weapon or armor. And the thing about it is that, you know, it's like it's really good to have the God rolls because, and I feel like God rolls are not the same as for everybody. Because somebody may think, well, it's a God roll. Well, it may be the way you play the game, but it isn't for me. That's what replayability is all about. Regardless if somebody sits here and says that this gun that they're looking at, it has all these good perks on it. It's perfect. It's a God roll. And then somebody else gets another gun, the same gun, and gets it in different perks, but says it's a God roll. Well, I mean, the way I'm looking at it is that it's a God roll for your player style and the way you want to play with a gun. So I don't think when somebody says God roll, that means for everyone on the planet Earth. I believe it's just for them specifically, and for a decent variety and a different decent amount of people will consider it a God roll. But anyways, the God roll term is really overused and stupid to honestly use to begin with. But anyways, now, what they did with Destiny 2 was put in these weapon mods. Okay, now this right here is a 5 weapon attack, and I don't feel like they're ever going to make the mods higher than 5. I think 5 is perfectly fine, but they may want to make them higher. They may want to make an exotic weapon mods. They may want to make them up to 10, that way they can push the power up better that way instead of having to worry about bringing a weapon or an armor piece of armor up further on the attack. But anyways, or defense. But anyways, this is a weapon attack mod. Now these are not given out easily. Okay, sometimes you're going to get guns that's going to already have a minute, so you better be watching when you do get guns. That way, that would be really the only thing that sets the guns apart right now, is if you get one and it has a weapon attack mod. Now the reason being is because uh, this right here, this right would be your kinetic, so there's no kind of elemental damage on it. And the thing about it is that this is your primary. This is the one gun you're probably going to be using more than any of the others. So you want that weapon attack mod in it. Now, these, which exotics already come with a 5 attack or a 5 defense mod in them already. Or not 5 defense, but 5 something. It's going to be 5. So they already come with that. You don't have to worry about that. So when you do get exotics, guns, or gear, just make sure you look because there's an extra 5 light or power on it, and you don't want to try to infuse that into something that is 5 lower to try to make it 5 the even because it just won't do it. So if you have something 305 and or just say you have an exotic that's 300, well it's actually 295. It's got 5 power mod in it. So always treat your exotics with 5 less attack or defense in them. Therefore, when you infuse them, then you don't have to worry about, well, where'd that 5 go? Well, now you know. All right, but anyways, you can look like you can't change when you go to an exotic. You can't change the weapon attack mods. You can't change the ornaments unless you do have the ornament, and there's only one for each one that I know of right now for the guns. So they're pretty much set. But if you go to like this right here is an energy weapon, and this is a power weapon. And the thing about this is that the power weapons and the energy weapons that's legendary will always have a weapon mod in it that is some kind of damage. This is going to be void, arc, or solar, and you can always switch them out. But here's the thing, guys: if you go in and you start, making it to where, okay, well, I've got a void attack mod in that, and I want to put arc in it. Okay, well, if you do, then you're going to lose the void because they didn't make it to where if you replace one, it goes back into your inventory. They made it to where it's just completely wasted. And so make sure you know what you're doing and you put the right mod in it. Now these will be 5+ mods, and they are a dime a dozen. These come very easily. Okay, the solar arc or the void, they come pretty easily. But when you go to the kinetic, the main weapon that you're going to be using, that weapon attack in there doesn't come easily. Okay, and you can get all your mods actually from Banshee. So I would recommend going over there and keep trying until you can get them. But anyways, so I kind of feel like my final opinion on the guns. I kind of see where they was going with it. Well, it is kind of different. We have attack mods. We have mods in them that you can put in them and stuff like that. Now, you cannot put any solar arc or void damage mod up into the kinetic. It's just not the way it's meant to be. But I kind of feel how they done it right here. So, anyways, but yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that my final opinion on the weapons, I feel like they do need, they don't need to set the rolls on them, okay? The perks and so on and so forth, because the replayability is just horrible without that. You know, what's the point of me getting 25 nameless midnights? What would make the difference, okay? There wouldn't be no difference. And just like exotics, there's no difference. And I do believe that exotics should not be changed. That's why they're called exotics. Now we'll go over here and we'll start talking about the armor. Now the armor is the same way. Now you'll see that it's not going to have as much things that you could change. You can infuse, of course, in the guns and the armor and so on and so forth. Now these are the mods right here. Now you can have all kinds of mods. You can see it. But what you're going for is the purple ones because that gives you the +5 power out of that, and then you can put them together and then you can make up the amount you need to make a higher power level. And your goal is right now is the 305. But whatever your subclass is what I'd recommend putting into the mod slot. And whatever you feel comfortable with, like, I want to be able to do, okay, this one's got class abilities, recharge faster. Well, the class ability, is on the hunter, it's pretty much the dodge. Well, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and put in the arc melee ability. And that way, I could have faster melees. Well, the thing about it is that, like I said, you want to stay with the purple so you can get the +5, and then you can see right here you have mobility and resilience. As far as I know, on every set piece of the gear sets that you're going after, these do not change, but you have a chance, or you have a choice. You can pick whichever one you want, and of course, that's the way it goes. Okay, and now the guns is what more people are worried about on a set roll than they are the gear. Now, here's the thing about the gear in Destiny 1, you didn't have mobility, resilience, and recovery, but I'm pretty sure that they are all set for the specific gear. Like, if you got the same piece of gear, it would be the same. Now, I haven't really looked at it a whole lot, but I'm almost for certain that it had the same mobility, resilience, or recovery or resilience, or whatever the pick between them. But don't quote me on that. But anyways, I think that in Destiny 1 they had it to where it was always different, defense or whatever. It was always different. So you may get a better piece of gear the next time around. Maybe the certain perk that you're looking for, like you need more defense, and like in Destiny 1, well then that gear ain't got defense on it. Well, okay, does that piece? Well, that piece may. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I feel like the gear and the guns should not have been done like this, where the straight rolls are, that's what they are. Come as you are. I mean, it honestly puts so much stress on the replayability of this game that it's not even funny. And I don't know who had the idea, but you did not have a great idea. It was not the best idea you've ever come up with. And I do feel that, it's simple. It's do or don't. I mean, did you want your game to be played more? Or did you just want everybody to get your pieces of gear and guns and just not have anything else to do? Now, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful game. It is something that, I love this game. But, I feel like I have the right to criticize it really bad. Any game that I put this kind of time and money into, I do like to try to criticize it. I try to tell what's good, what isn't good in my eyes. But anyways, guys, that is going to be your review over the set perks and my feel about it. I do feel they've messed up in this area. But before we leave, I'm going to say that Luke Smith, I don't know about Luke Smith, but I do know that they have come out and they have talked about everything that the community is talking about, and they are trying to do better. And hopefully in the coming month or two that these changes will be implemented. They have talked about a lot of stuff that they're going to be implementing into Destiny 2 to make it more playability, have more in-game, and all these other things. And that's what I want. And I did make this video before that patch come out, but yes, there is still a lot at the end of the tunnel. And hopefully, we get some good stuff that comes in. But this is my thoughts on, of how I feel that it should be changing and why I do not like it. But other than that, guys, hopefully you did like the video and give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, click on that little bell over there and click on notifications so you never miss another video. Other than that, guys, this has been JustHitSquare. You guys have an awesome day.